recording.
Finally, we move on to 3rd and 4th grade. By 3rd grade, students should have practiced and mastered subtraction within 100. In 3rd grade, students are still working to master subtraction within 1000. Students learn the modified version of the standard algorithm within 1000 in 3rd grade. And by the end of 3rd grade, students should be able to fluently subtract within 1000 using the modified standard algorithm. Now, in 4th grade, students may continue using the modified standard algorithm, but there is more of an emphasis and a focus on mastering the standard algorithm, because by the end of 4th grade, students should fluently know the standard algorithm for subtraction and be able to subtract multi-digit numbers in order to prepare for 5th grade. So basically, in 3rd and 4th grade, students are progressing in their ability to implement subtraction and are working their way up to master the standard algorithm. So these are the two strategies, the modified algorithm and the standard algorithm. So we are going to demonstrate how students would go about implementing these algorithms. So let's start with modified. So we want students to break this down in order to make it easier on them. So we would have hundreds, tens, and ones right here. And we would tell them, okay, so you have 8 in the hundreds column. So you would put 800, and then plus, and then we would tell them, okay, you have a 4 in the tens column. So you would put 40. And then the students would add a 3 at the end because there's a 3 in the ones column. And then they put a subtraction sign and they go down here to this number. So they would see the 6 in the hundreds column, so they would put 600 right here. And then they would see the 8 in the tens column, so they would put an 80 right here. And then they would see the 2 in the ones column, so they would put the 2 right here. All right, now they are ready to answer the modified version. So they would do 3 minus 2, which is 1. And then they would go over to the tens and they would see, okay, so there's 40 minus 80. We cannot do that. So we need to go over to the hundreds and borrow. So we would cross out the 800 because we're borrowing 100, so that makes it a 700. And since we borrowed a 100, it would turn into 10 tens. So the 40, we would add a 100 to that, so it would become 140. Students would then subtract 140 from 80 using whatever they need to in order to do that. So they would get the answer 60, and they would put that, and we would tell them to put the addition signs on the bottom as well so that they can fully add it up at the end. So after they have gotten 60, they will go back to the hundreds and they will see 700 minus 600. And they will know, okay, so subtract those, you get 100. And then we would ask them to put it all together. So we have, in the hundreds column, we have 100, so there would be a 1. Then we have, in the tens column, 60, so that would be a 6. And then in the ones column, we have a 1, so we put a 1. So the answer is 161. All right, I'm gonna move over here. So the standard algorithm. Okay, so this is more 4th grade now. It can be done in 3rd, but we mostly want to focus on the standard algorithm in 4th grade. So the students would go about solving it the standard way. So they would see 3 minus 2, put a 1. And then they would see 4 minus 8. They know they can't do that, so they go and borrow. Take away the 8, that becomes a 7 because there are 700s. And then they go back to the tens column, and since we are turning 1 100 into 10 tens, this 4 would become a 14 because we now have 14 tens. So they would subtract 14 minus 8, and they would get a 6. And then after that, they would go back and they would subtract the 7 from the 6 and get a 1. And their answer is 161, and that is the standard algorithm. So to conclude, in 3rd and 4th grade, we want students to understand a modified version of the standard algorithm and eventually in 4th grade be able to master the standard algorithm. They progress from 3rd and 4th grade by first using the modified version and then progressing to the standard version. By the beginning of 5th grade, students should know the standard algorithm fluently. All right, that concludes my progressions project. Thank you.